The Arizona Cardinals defensive line dominated the first day with pads on. Is that just a good thing for the defensive side or something to worry about regarding the offensive line? Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Cardinals, Alex Clancy here. Follow me on Twitter, Clancy's Corner. Follow the podcast, Locked On AZ Cards. Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen, free wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. 15 years in sports media, 10 years hosting this lovely show, 9th season. Unbelievable things are coming. At least rational, methodical, and functional things are coming. We don't really know what's going to happen once the pads go on for real in week 1, 5 weeks from now. We've done it. We've made it. And there's a lot to discuss since we last talked. Today's episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. So I did this last segment yesterday, but got to do it again. Kyler Murray plus Marvin Harrison Jr. equals yes. Again, discuss that a little bit more in depth. But it wasn't all great for the offense yesterday. Kyler Murray spoke to the media, said it was the toughest day they've had, the worst day they've had on offense so far. Is that a moment of worry? And just pump the brakes. It's not clickbait. I'm going to discuss it rationally as we look at, the first sign of adversity with this offense. I know it's in camp. Okay, so let's just chill on it. And then, the positive of all positives, defensive line just dominating the offensive line. And it just puts a couple things into question. Is it more about the defensive line domination? Is it more about the offensive line needing more help than it currently has? Or kind of an amalgamation of the two? So, first, positive. On the defensive line, just looks. I mean, how could it not? And this is where, adding Dalvin, Tomlinson, Calais, Campbell, and Darius Robinson looking like a god now, fully healthy. Ojulari still not there, still on PUP. Walter Nolan on PUP. Like, Dante Stills just doing what he's done. It's obvious that it was going to look a lot better than it did last year and the year before that. So for me, just like I did with the transitioning of the regimes, it's like, okay, does this look good in a vacuum, or is this just, oh my God, this is so much better than what it was? And I think it's the first. I think it's the former. Like, this defensive line looks like it has the ability to be a top 8, top 10 defensive line in football in 2025. And that's without Walter Nolan. That's without B.J. Ojulari. That's with Zaven Collins moving to, taking first-team reps with the off-ball linebacker role. So I know it's one day of camp. I know it's the first day in pads, and there's a long-ass way to go. And what you're seeing is the beginning stages of what this defensive line could be. And I know it's light. I know it's not 100%. I know they're not going full motor on off. I understand all of it. I know it's camp. And I'm the first one to say, and have been for years, as long as they're not oh-no moments, you kind of just throw what happens in camp away. Like, it's nice to see. There's not any, there's not any backstepping. But, just seeing it makes me happy. Just seeing it makes me feel like, oh, yeah, a top 10 defense is much sexier than a top 10 offense. I mean, I don't know when that happened, okay? I struggle. I don't know when that happened. Is that growing up? I don't know. But what we've seen is really, really good things from the front, okay? Predominantly, the biggest jump, and it's because he was injured early. He went through, a death in the family last year. It was a bad year for him last year, obviously. That's the understatement of the century. Darius Robinson looks like he could be this breakout star. And I know that it's very early. I get all of it. But he looks like he could be a breakout star. He, just like Marvin Harrison Jr., has done everything methodically, quietly, and just shown up prepared to take that next step, body and mind, from where they were last year. It's different side of the ball. Darius Robinson played far fewer games But Darius Robinson looks like a guy who could be another quicker twitch dude from the interior. I don't know. What if like think about this, and then I'm going to pivot to the offensive line in a second. But like, think about this. What if Dalvin Tomlinson, Calais Campbell, and Walter Nolan and Dante Still have it covered on the interior? And you can flex out Darius Robinson off the edge, which he played in Missouri. He's got a quick enough step, and you have that Adonis coming off the edge on top with Josh Sweat and all the other dudes. Like, if you use, like, that's something that can be unlocked on this defense. It hasn't really been discussed because we're still trying to figure everything out. If you can use Darius Robinson in multiple spots, whether it be over the guard or over the tackle, and you can use him in both ways, that strengthens, like, it shows how strength the interior defensive line is without him, because you can move him outside off the edge. And then that just catapults the edge rusher room. So there's an argument that can be made that he's the most important defensive player for the Arizona Cardinals in 2025. Like, I've said that Budda Baker's still the maestro. They go as he goes, okay? It's kind of not always going to have to be hands-on for him, but it can be argued that Darius Robinson is the most pivotal player on defense for the Cardinals in 2025. Because even with the injuries in the secondary, if you've got an elite pass rush, that covers up most holes that a secondary has. The Cardinals were top 15 last year without a pass rush and with a bunch of young corners. So imagine if they have to cover for a second less every passing play. Changes everything. Now, moving to the offensive line. Is this a problem? Like, it's a TBD thing. It's been a TBD thing. I don't know why Will Johnson's not an Arizona Cardinal yet. He was cleared yesterday. My buddy Bo Brock tweeted that out. He's officially cleared. Go pay him. Like, this should not be even a second thought. Everybody in the NFL that needs a right guard will be looking at him. Okay? Go get him. Everybody loves him here, and he loves it here. I feel like by the end of I tweeted, I don't know one reason why at the end of the week that he's not an Arizona Cardinal. Not one. They've got the money. Give him 2 years and not 1 year. Make him a little bit more stable. Maybe give him a little bit of juice up front. They've got the money to spend. They've got money. Just do it. Set and forget. And for the Isaiah Adams truthers out there, he's only starting because Will Hernandez was hurt. That's the only reason. We have no idea if he's ready. So if you can bring a dude in who's been the Yalta Frohold for this team from the guard position, it's just a set and forget dude who makes way less money than he should, and all he's done is played every game. Will Hernandez hasn't, but locked up, the right side of the offensive line. He's been great. Go sign him. So, but is this a question about the offensive line? Yeah, there's going to be questions about the offensive line. Just like I said 2 years ago, the Cardinals should have traded back from 4, and I kind of moved into the Marv camp because you take, like, everybody that I trust in the space is like, you just take them. You just take them. Like, okay, so I got on board the last, 20% of the offseason cycle last year before the draft. And then this year, I'm like, take an offensive lineman at 16. You just do it. Take Grace Abel. You just do it. Seattle took him later in the first round. It's like, take Josh Simmons. You take Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons looks like an all-pro in Kansas City right now. You just do it because you need offensive linemen. Because if you don't protect Kyler Murray, none of this is going to work. And if it's not Kyler Murray, you protect the quarterback, because if you don't protect the quarterback, none of it's going to work. But then I got on I didn't get on the train. I still think that they should have. And then at 16, I said they should have taken Will Johnson. That's what I did in the mock draft because he was there, and they ended up getting him. Like, it was kind of a weird draft cycle this year. But yeah, there's going to be questions around the offensive line for sure. So this may have been the first glimpse of that. I don't know how it's going to shape up. But again, it's camp. It's first day of camp. They've got a new offensive line coach with Justin Fry. Like, there's going to be things. There's going to be growing pains. And Hayden Connor just doesn't look ready yet. Their late round pick, who played center and guard. Like, if he can get in the mix, maybe we're having a different conversation. But it's tough playing offensive line in the NFL, man. They go late rounds for a reason. Sign Will Hernandez today. I hope they do. Is it a moment of worry for the offense that the first time pads were on was their first bad day? No. And we're still going to talk about it next. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by our friends at Game Time. We've all been there, logging on early, waiting for everyone to get concert tickets to go on sale, only to lose your spot for a show you've been dying to see. And live music should be about making memories, not dealing with the stress of getting tickets, man. And that's where Game Time comes in. Game Time makes getting tickets to concerts faster and easier than ever. The cool part about it is prices drop as you get closer to showtime, kickoff, as it were. And you can save up to 60% off your tickets with killer last-minute deals. For me, as always, on top of the price you see is the price you pay with no hidden fees. The panoramic seat view, especially with concerts, it's like, listen, you're going to spend your hard-earned money on a band or a musical act you want to see. You want to know what the vantage point is going to be before you buy your tickets, and you can do that with the Game Time app. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with the Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Excuse me for my typo. Offense. That's whoopsie. Okay, so Kyler Murray spoke to the media yesterday and he said, yeah, it was for a struggle day. Is this pause for concern? No, but it's like outside of the Marv stuff, I know that it's camp. I know that it's day one. But it's like there's one play that I saw, and this is something that, like, coupled with, this was the first rough day for the offense. Coupled with that, the clip that I saw, I think it was from Tyler Drake, my buddy over at Arizona Sports. Kyler, downside hike, dumps down to Trey McBride when Marv is wide open over the top on a crossing route. For those that, if this is your first listen to Locked On Cardinals, thank you. Maybe make tomorrow your second one. If you're an everydayer, like you'll know this. Like, I'm yearning in 2025 for the offense to not take more chances, like 50-50 balls hucking downfield, but not taking the easy open completion all the time when one more second to let a play mature could result in a larger chunk gain. So case in point, yesterday, Trey McBride, it was a 5-yard dump down. If you waited an extra half second, Kyler floats it over the corner, and Marv's got a 18 or 20-yard gain, depending on if it's a catch and run or if he gets tackled right away. Like, that's the differentiation. That's the differentiation between an average to good offense and a great offense. If you've got multiple guys open, you don't just have to take the one that's right at the sticks. You take the first down, I get it, but it's like I think part of the reason why I think with Jody Ayler and I, Fox Sports 910 dude, one of my dear friends. I'm talking about my friends. What the hell's going on? We used to always talk about how it's like Kyler, like the offense is playing with like 70% of the field. Doesn't feel opened up as much as what we see from other teams. And I think that's part of the reason why it's like, yeah, you take the first down. And also, if you wait an extra beat and you can get an extra 15 yards, you do it. So that's kind of a frustrating thing. I think that just triggered me a little bit with like, oh my God. So there's an issue with the offense for today, and we're dumping down instead of lobbing over to Marv for a larger chunk gain. Not making a bigger deal out of it than it is. It was just interesting timing, and it just kind of tweaked me a little bit. With that said, this is fantastic. Iron sharpening iron for the offense. This is fantastic. You want the defense to beat them up. So they have to tweak and prod and change things. And then if they play weaker defenses, it's going to be like playing Madden on easy mode when the regular season starts. Like this is going to be a fantastic thing for this offense, because the last couple of years, it's kind of been like, I don't know if they've been challenged. I don't know if that's something that's been like hindering them from producing at a level for 17 weeks, because they're not playing against anybody. And that's not to say, Buda Baker, like they're not playing against what could be elite defense in whatever form or fashion, percentage wise of actual physicality compared to a game is being, implemented during practice. But it's like what I saw from, from the videos coming out of camp is this defense is going to be a problem. So all of this to say, first two segments is this is much more about the defense than the offense. It's much more about that. Will Johnson looks comfortable, doesn't look nervous. Like he's a football player. Like he's an NFL corner. Just like I used to say, I always used to coin with D'Amico Ryans. Like D'Amico Ryans is the head coach. Like you just see on the sidelines of San Francisco. Like that dude's a head coach. You can just tell. Robert Saleh, not a head coach, coordinator. You can just see it. And you can see Will Johnson's ready to go. And you saw with the body movement, things aren't too fast for him. He gets it. And I think it's going to be a great byproduct with all of the other studs over the top with Budda Baker, namely, and, Dadrian Taylor-Demerson emerging. So it's not a moment of worry for the offense. It's just like everything has been going. Everything has been smooth. It's all about, the conversations at hand about, the future pacing stuff. And then now with the first day of camp, it's kind of like a snap back to reality thing where it's like, oh, if the offense struggles and it looks exactly the same as it did the last 2 years, I just really don't want to do that. I just really don't want to do that. It's not even a matter of like, say they do move off Kyler Murray, just hypothetically speaking. The offense craters and the defense is what's carrying everybody. The defense is winning all the games, which very well could be the case. Like the defense could be leading the charge this year, but that's not to say that the offense won't be putting like it's going to be a combination effort, a collaborative effort between the two. But if they do move off from Kyler Murray and they do move off from Drew Petzing and they win 9 games and the offense looks exactly the same, I have no problem admitting that I'm wrong. Like that's all this is about. I just don't want to do that. Starting over is going to suck. If that's the case, it's going to be so bad. It's not going to be fun for anybody. So you just hope that what they've got now will work. And I think it will. I don't think there's anything that Kyler Murray can't do with this offense with, this full roster that's been set up. It was just a little triggering to see the dump down when Marv was open over the top. It's like, oh man, maybe that was just a route that they wanted to practice. Maybe that was the Trey McBride. I think it was Trey McBride. I think it was a tight end. Like that was the opening up on short yardage or something, in a passing down, whatever it is. Who knows what the hell it was? But it was just a little like irrationally triggering for me. And I think that's all it was. This is much more about praising the defensive line, really taking that step forward, and not so much about the offense having their struggles on the first day of camp. Kyler Murray plus Marvin Harrison Jr. equals yes. Again, next. Fantasy football, baby. This episode is presented by Yahoo Fantasy. Fantasy football's back. I've got 2 drafts in the next few weeks, firing up the group chat. I got messages all over the place. Get your draft board ready. Breakouts, busts, overreaction, all of it. Fantasy football is back, and it's all going down on Yahoo Fantasy. This year, I mentioned, I've got 2 leagues. One has been going on for 20 years. One's a dynasty league that's catching up to about 10 years, and they're both in Yahoo Fantasy. Like, I'm not making this up. I've used Yahoo Fantasy forever. It's just the platform's so clean. I always love in the redraft leagues where it'll give you the grade, and then you can kind of joke about, like, with your buddies, like, oh man, you're going to go 2-11 this year, or whatever it is, 2-12 this year. Fantastic, nice draft. Expletive. That's what makes fantasy football fun, and doing it on Yahoo Fantasy is even better. To celebrate 28 years of fantasy greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days, giving you more ways to play, more ways to draft, and more ways to win. It all begins August 4th. Stay tuned and get started by creating or joining a Yahoo Fantasy Football League at yahoofantasy.com/lockedonnfl. That's yahoofantasy.com/lockedonnfl. And let's make this fantasy season the best one yet. I mean, the chunk plays, like, talking about something the complete opposite of what I just discussed. The chunk plays from Marvin and Kyler are a sight to behold. Marv had a ridiculous one-handed catch yesterday where the defender was draped all over him, spun to the right, one-hander, goes down. Like, I'm quickly starting to stop thinking about Marv and the potential of him taking the leap this year. It's just going to happen. Like, it's just a natural progression of things. I alluded to him and Darius Robinson kind of on the same plight, kind of on the same journey after their rookie seasons, obviously for different reasons. But man, this is what a full offseason, all the reps that they've partaken in together since the end of the last season and in camp now. Like, the timing's there, his route running's elite, and Kai was putting it on the nose. It is just going to be fascinating to see what this offense looks like in its totality. And I struggle because I'm going to have a very difficult internal battle saying that it's sexy to have a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense if this team starts putting up a 30-burger every game. That's the beauty of where we are right now. Okay. So Marv and Kyler Murray continue to grow, continue to get better, things like that. I think it needs to be mentioned, especially because that was kind of the highlight of the first down day for this offense with pads on, whatever. Everybody's still trying to figure things out. The upside for this team is a deep playoff run. Truly. Like, this isn't rose-colored glasses. This is not. The collection of talent on this roster. If everything happens like towards the right side of the spectrum, where like 90% of everything happens the way it's set up to happen, this is a deep playoff run team. Truly. A lot of things need to happen for that to happen, of course. I'm not saying they're a top 5 team. I'm not saying they're a top 10 team going into the season. They're ranked exactly where they're supposed to be ranked. Like the Trey McBride ranking 65th best player in the NFL, that's exactly where the Cardinals are. They don't deserve the respect yet because they haven't done anything. But comparing last year to this year, with all of the changes, especially on defense, it would be a fool's errand to think that the expectations aren't exponentially higher. And I think that that's pretty clear. With those expectations, there aren't expectations for teams that don't have a chance of reaching them. Like, nobody's saying, oh, Browns got to make the playoffs or everybody's getting fired. It's like, that's not going to happen. The Cardinals were in a conversation for being a team. It's not like that they can surprise some people. They're expected to win many more games than they lose this year. So if that's the case and they execute that, and then you go one more side to the right side of the spectrum, it's like, oh, they win 13 games? Yeah, it makes sense. Nothing's going to surprise me this year, except for if they win 6 games or 7 games. Nothing that will surprise me. And I don't think that's rational. And I don't think that that's, some sort of novel thing to say. But if they win 13 games, we're like, yeah, wow, the plan's working. And there's going to be a lot of fun things to talk about. I think very quickly, and before we get to the regular season, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do it. It may be the week leading up to the game where I'll wait that long to do my, final prediction. And then we'll really break down the schedule. I might take 2 or 3 days to do it, and we break it down. I think we're going to find out quickly how dominant both sides of the ball can be. And the easier, no game in the NFL is easy. Okay. Cardinals lost some games they definitely should have won last year. The softer, based upon strength of schedule, part of their seasons before their bye week, weeks 1 through like 8 or 9, with a couple tough games, peppered in. If they're beating teams by 3 scores and giving up 12 points a game, we're going to be seeing, oh, okay, so the potential is there. They are exponentially better than a good chunk of the NFL right now. That 0-1 jump we haven't seen yet. So obviously the respect, the buzz, the notoriety, all of those things are going to come after that shown, and we're going to see it early if it's going to happen. We're going to see it in the first 2 months of the season. This is one of my old adages that I used to say. It's like what you want to be as a team in the NFL. If it's not just so when other teams look at their schedule, like fans, whoever it is, look at their schedule and they see the opposition. They see the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals for other teams have been W when you're projecting win-loss for years. For years. W. That's a win when they play the Arizona Cardinals. That's a win. Last year, they transitioned to question mark, where it's like, tough game, probably should get a win, but it's going to be a tougher game. The jump from question mark to L is 2025. When other teams look at their schedule, or fans or whoever it is, people are projecting win-loss, and they see the Arizona Cardinals on their schedule, there's going to be a lot more teams putting an L in there. And that is the jump from last year to this year. That's the culmination of everything that's happened since the end of the 2022 season, and that's the ceiling for this team. If you told me the Arizona Cardinals won 13 games and got to the NFC Championship game, would I be shocked? No. Would it be with variance, a little bit higher variance option? Yeah. But if everything happens 90% of the way, it's set up to happen. I'm not shocked with really any outcome for the Arizona Cardinals, aside from them winning less than 6 or 7 games. Like, I'd be shocked if they won 8 games or less in 2025. The pivot from question mark to L, when people are looking at their schedules and they see the Arizona Cardinals coming up, that's the differentiator between the old Arizona Cardinals and what's paving the way for the new. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Remember, without you, there is no me. I'll talk to you tomorrow.